Hello students, uh, this is the third part of my lecture on coelom. In the previous lecture, we have studied what is a coelom. Then we studied why all cavities are not called as coelom. For example, porifera. The poriferans, they have a spongiocele, but it is not called as coelom. Then we studied about hydra. Hydra or the cnidarians, they have coelentron, but it is not called as a coelom. Then we studied why they are not called as coelom and what is the basic necessity for a cavity to be called as a coelom. Then we studied about the functions. We just have a quick recap. We studied about the functions of coelom. What's the significance? So we studied the advantages of coelom and what advantages coelomates have over acoelomates. We studied that part also. How does it help? That it provides a hydrostatic skeleton, provides flexibility. Then we also studied another definition. Then we studied about the types of peritoneum, the parietal and the visceral peritoneum. What are the characteristics of parietal peritoneum? What are the characteristics of visceral peritoneum? And then we studied the body cavity, that which part is covered by the parietal peritoneum, which part is covered by the visceral peritoneum. And we studied about the intraperitoneal organs and mesenteries. And then we studied about the retroperitoneal organ, the primary and the secondary ones, and which organs are not considered to be present inside the coelom, that is, which organs are considered to be outside the coelom. Then we studied the example of the retroperitoneal organs, and then we studied the body cavities. We studied the theories of origin of coelom, the gonocele and nephrocele theory. We see that they are discarded, and the accepted are the schizocelic and the enterocelic theory. So this is what we have studied in the previous lecture. Now we'll move forward. See, uh, we have seen Porifera, we have seen Cnidaria, we have seen Enophora. The next phylum is Platyhelminth. See, Platyhelminth is the first phylum in which Mesoderm arose. So when we defined coelom, we said that coelom is a body cavity which is filled with a coelomic fluid and is lined by mesodermal epithelial lining on both the sides. So the basic necessity for any cavity to be called as a coelom is the presence of mesoderm. And the first phylum in which mesoderm arose was Platyhelminth. Now, see, in Platyhelminth, they are called as flatworms. For example, planaria. If you cut at planaria, we will see a outer body wall and you see an inner alimentary canal. Between the alimentary canal and the outer body wall is present solid mesoderm, and the solid mesoderm is called as the parenchyma or mesenchyme. So the mesoderm is not present as a layer on both the sides. It is present as a solid body wall, a body layer. So the ectoderm and the endoderm and mesoderm, they together form a solid structure. There is no cavity found in between. So platyhelminths, they are triploblastic, but they are acoelomates. So they are called as triploblastic acoelomate. Then the next phylum is Aschelminths. Now see, in Aschelminth, mesoderm is present, but mesoderm is present as pouches or patches, small patches. So the small patches of mesodermal lining, in some books it is called as the basal lamina also, it's around the muscles. So pseudocoelom is the ectoderm and endoderm, they are separated by a cavity, but the cavity is not completely lined by mesoderm. The cavity has patches of mesoderm, that's why this is called as a pseudocoelom. And it is found in Nematoda, Nematomorpha, Gastrotricha, Rotifera, Nematorhyncha, etc. etc. So, pseudocoelom, normally we call them as Aschelminths, that it is found in round ones or Aschelminth, but it is found in all other phylums, other subphylums, also other minor phylums also, like Chinorhyncha, etc. Then the next is Annelida. Now see, Annelida is the first phylum in which coelom arose. So it was the first phylum in which coelom arose. Mesoderm formed a complete lining, one towards the body wall and one towards the alimentary canal, and the space found between is filled with a coelomic fluid and is called as the coelom. Now when we move from Annelida, the next to the next phylum. Okay, so we have seen Porifera, Coelenterata, then Ctenophora, then Platyhelminth, then Aschelminth. So we have reached to 5 phylums, and we have seen that till Aschelminth it is pseudocoelom, and then the first phylum to have presence to show presence of a true coelom is Annelida. Now after Annelida, the next phylum is Mollusca. Now see in Mollusca the true coelom is present, but the true coelom is filled with blood. That's why it is called as hemocoel. So in Mollusca, true coelom is replaced by a blood-filled cavity called as hemocoel. And in Mollusca, some true coelom is also present around the gonad. So true coelom is very restricted and is found around the gonad. The rest, true coelom is filled with blood, so it is called as hemocoel. Then when we move to from Mollusca next to Arthropoda. Now in Arthropoda again, true coelom is present, but mostly it is hemocoel. Again, it is filled with blood, so it is called as hemocoel. And then we move to Echinodermata. So Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, and Echinodermata, these are all having true coelom or the presence of true coelom. But later it becomes filled with blood in some of these, so it is called as a hemocoel, and hemocoel is not a true coelom. Why? Because see, in hemocoel blood is present, and blood itself is a tissue. So blood itself is a connective tissue is present, and so the cavity is not filled with a coelomic fluid. So hemocoel is not considered as a true coelom, but the true coelom is restricted to some parts in the body like gonads, around gonads. Then Hemichordata. Now Hemichordata again is invertebrates phylum now. Earlier it was a subphylum of phylum Chordata, but now it is a separate invertebrate phylum. Then Chordata, all these they have two coeloms. Then when you go to Chordata, then Param, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptile, Apes, Mammal, these all have true coelom. So the true coelom is present in Chordata, Hemichordata, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Arthropoda, and Annelida. In the first phylum to show presence of a true coelom was Annelida. Then pseudocoelom is found in some minor and major phylum like Nematoda, Gastrotricha, Rotifera, Chinorhyncha, etc. And platyhelminths, they have mesoderm, but they are not coelomates. So they are called as triploblastic acoelomates.